it's Kevin Dugan with Jet Shades, and I'm always getting asked the question, hey, I've heard about this Gen 2 Professional series. What's the difference between your original Jet Shades and the Gen 2 Professional series that is about to be released? So, quick video will teach you all about it, and let me just say, you're gonna like the Gen 2 Professional series. Well, our original Jet Shades, they came with a solid kind of polycarbonate panel with a thicker trim around it. And the way they worked is they pushed into the frame of the aircraft or the windshield to bite the trim of the aircraft and stay in place. Well, over time, things change. Temperature changes, the polycarbonate kind of swells and shrinks, and we had some people tell us, hey, once in a while they would fall out, and we put some Velcro to it. We try to help them out. We also said, we parked in the high heat in the desert, and we got some crinkles in our shades. They started delaminating, and there was also, they didn't like the fit as much, and we just decided to stop and say, look, instead of trying to solve each issue individually, let's just redesign the whole product and see if we come up with a new version of the product that solves everything, works better, and has some extra few bells and whistles in it too. And that brought us to what we call the Gen 2 Professional series. And right off the bat, you're going to notice, while this is a solid panel, this is a flexible panel, which means it can contour to the shape of your window. And as a note, which means it can now work in canopy planes, which of course our original series could not. So if you have a canopy or an arch in your plane, Jet Shades can now put these in your plane. The second thing is the heat performance. We did a good deep dive on what causes the issues with heat and some delaminations in high heat conditions, and we re-engineered it just to not use what caused that. So these have been tested. The Gen 2 products have been tested over to 200 degrees, up to 200 degrees, won't delaminate, stay in. They come with the same 2-year warranty. You put them in, you won't have to use your foil guards again. That's right, you just leave these in your windows all the time, and they'll protect your aircraft interior. It'll reflect the heat, it'll block the UV, protect your interior. So as soon as you park the plane, just get out of it and leave them in, and your plane's protected while you're gone. So no more foil guards with Gen 2. The fit and finish is completely different. It's been done in a way where this used to be a friction fit and have to press into the aircraft trim. Well, the issue with that was the aircraft trim used to move over time and be warped, and sometimes we'd go to put them in, and people would say, mine didn't fit well. They'd have to go to a dealer, and it was a lengthy process. And when they finally got it done, yes, they looked nice and they worked great and everything, but it was just a little lot to get that to that point. So with the Gen 2s, we simplified things a lot. Okay, so first of all, we notice that instead of that big thick rubber gasket we had, we've replaced it with a nice clean looking rubber trim. So it looks a lot better than it used to, and it looks really good once you put it in the windows of your aircraft. Second thing is that it's bendable, right? With our first panel was very stiff. This one you can bend. It's about 30 thousandths thick, which is about half the thickness of our original Jet Shades, which also means it's half the weight. So this weighs much less than a half a pound. So it's very, very light, and where the other Jet Shades weighed over a pound each. Second thing we'll notice, how do we get them to stay in the windows? What's unique about the Gen 2 Professional series is the mounting system. So the mounting system, as we can see here, consists of specially made clips that come in and attach to the aircraft itself on the windowsill through the use of some dual lock, and we'll put it on there, and then the Jet Shades will simply slide into the clips. So what does this mean? It means before we used to depend upon the frame of the aircraft trim to pressure fit in and hold the Jet Shade in place. We don't do that anymore with Gen 2. With Gen 2, we simply attach the brackets, and there's one up top as well. And then the Jet Shade stays in place because it's inserted into the brackets, independent of what is happening to the shape around the aircraft windowsill. So over time, we all know that windowsill warps and twists a little bit. With this mounting system, the Jet Shades won't fall out even in moderate to severe turbulence because they're mounted into the brackets. They're not mounted into the windowsill. So Even the windshields will have mounting brackets on them that simply attach to the trim of the aircraft, and once they're secure, we just slide the shade in like this, and that holds them in place. Again, there's actually a little bump out here to keep them from sliding down, so they'll no longer slide down and fall out. So yeah, we have a nice secure method for mounting them. So the mounting system is completely redesigned to make sure your jet shades are not only easy to install, but they'll stay in to moderate to severe turbulence. And of course, they're easily removable and installable during flight. Again, jet shades are designed so, hey, it's getting bright and sunny right now. Let me just put a shade in my side window, just drop it into the clips. The clips are there, just put them into the clips. And if you ever want to take the clips out, they're easily removable as well, just pop them off. One thing we would recommend, definitely do this one. The storage case does have a good function, and that is when you bring your plane in for maintenance. A lot of times we've heard feedback on how jet shades are getting scratched and damaged when the plane goes in for maintenance. Remove your jet shades when you bring your plane in, put them in the storage case. That's what this is for. Now, on to one of the best new features of the Gen 2 Professional Series jet shades. Are you ready for this one? We have something new, and believe me, it works great if you're a pilot flying up at altitude and that sun is below the windshield jet shade, which is about 7 inches, and it's just beaming into the cockpit when you're at level flight. Let's say you're going east to west in the afternoon. This thing is called a cruising shade. You guessed it, it's a cruising shade. If you look at it like this from the inside, you can see the dark blue. All you do is to pull this out when you're at altitude, slide it up behind our windshield jet shade, so it'll just tuck up behind this one. This will keep it in place, and there's this cutout is to let the room for your defogger, your air defogger, still come up in front and behind the cruising shade. And what this does is this blocks the solar energy, the UV, the heat. It blocks everything from hitting you in the face while you're trying to fly. Now there's one last feature of the Jet Shades Professional Series I'd like to share with you. It's something very unique. It's the customization of your pair of jet shades as you like it. In other words, we can do custom engraving and custom monogramming on your shade. You can have a company logo, you can have your name, you can have a call sign, you can have your tail number. This one says Citation Jet with a tail number. You get about 18 characters you can put in here, and that monogramming is available. It's great for companies, great for personalization. You know, my friend won the Wright Brothers Awards, quite an accomplishment. He has a nice monogram shades as a gift from me to him for all his accomplishments on his. He loves it. In summary, Gen 2 Professional Series. Just like our original jet shades, these block 99.9% UV. They block about 76% infrared heat. But if I take an actual BTU meter and I put it behind the high visibility bronze co-pilot ones, you're going to see a BTU reduction. That's actual heat reduction of 58%. If you put it behind our darker premium, you're going to see that jump up to about 80% of a reduction in the amount of BTUs that enter the aircraft. Putting the total solution, or the whole cockpit in, could take 15 to 25 degrees out of a cockpit. Or if you have air conditioning, by the way, you'll find yourself turning it down because the jet shades protect all the heat from coming in through the windows. So again, 99% UV, 99.9% UV blocking, that's UVA, UVB. So protect the pilots in flight. The solar glare, solar energy is all blocked, the radiation. But one really, really, really important thing that a Jet Shades Gen 2 will provide you is a great reduction in pilot fatigue. Pilot fatigue is huge. Sitting up in that cockpit, just getting beat up by the sun, you land the plane, you get home, boy, you're exhausted. With these, It's a great, our pilots have written back that they feel energized when they land and they're not exhausted anymore just from getting that protection from the sun, solar radiation. So Gen 2 Professional Series, great upgrade to the Jet Shades product line. We're migrating our products to that, and you'll see them very shortly here. We hope you enjoy them.